Hi and welcome to the Martin Bell Show. Hopefully you've been keeping well, and in today's video we're going to be rereading a news article from the Daily Mail Online, and it's from the science section. Actually, today we're in the science section. I was browsing on my feed on my app on my phone, and it said about money can buy you happiness. I thought, oh, let's give this a read. So I haven't actually read. I had a little brief read through in the comment sections, which aren't that great in this article, but I feel like there's a lot of hostility to people who have large sums of money, and some people that do not, and there's quite a lot of resentment there. And yes, we do need to look after the poor, but you shouldn't punish people who have become successful and have earned them. As long as they've earned the money legally and ethically, then they should be entitled to that, but they should pay their fair amount of tax as well. But so the article says here, money can buy you happiness. People's well-being continues to improve the wealthier they become, no matter how rich they get. Researcher analysed 1,725,994 reports of well-being from 33,901 US adults. The results revealed that reported well-being rose with households' income, while previous research suggested this was only true for incomes for up to $75,000 US a year. The study indicates there is no limit to the effect to this study. So I think there's probably some truth to this because as you become more successful and you become more efficient, you start to earn more, as obviously you have to probably maybe started to invest in, and it started to snowball and compound. So things are starting to go really well for you, and it has like this positive feedback loop, and things starting to get better. But this isn't also saying there are people who are on lower incomes. I am on a lower income at this moment in time, but I do eventually want to get up there and bring my income up. I am really happy at this moment in time in the way I am. I'm really happy at this moment in time. Things are starting to go in a positive direction. My mental state of mind is a lot better. I'm starting to get my finances more in order, and I've started to invest for the long-term near future, for my pension, and medium to long-term for my ISA. And I now only spend money on things that really enrich my life. I don't really enjoy trivial. What I would say trivial is like Starbucks coffees, designer clothes. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't gamble. I don't have an expensive luxury lifestyle. I don't have a Lambo or nice cars. I'd probably get an average Joe cars, but if that's what people like to do and it makes them happy, and more power to you. But I rather buy assets that pay me a dividend income, or have slow capital sustainable growth, which will give me freedom, because freedom is one of the highest values that I seek, and it also provides stability and reassurance. If something happens, I still have income coming in. So it says here, money can buy you happiness no matter how rich you get, a new study has revealed. So I have read the comments on this YouTube section. Some of them are okay, but I do notice a lot of resentment to people who do earn large sums of money. There's a lot of they look, it's like they're bitter and angry that they're not earning that much money. There is a lot of resentment there. I don't have a problem people earning large sums of money, as long as they're not doing it through exploitation of others, and as long as it's done ethically and legally, then they should be entitled to that money, as long as they're paying their fair share of taxes. So it has been thought that the wealthier improves people's lives up to a certain point, but this stops making a difference. I probably do agree with this, but I see probably it has like a feedback loop. As you earn more, it's like as a feedback loop, and you can see it like as a positive trend, because it's an indicator. It's not the only indicator that things are going well for you, but money is a commerce for us buying and trading service and goods from one another, as well as it gives you stability, and it takes off a lot of pressures, so you may not have to do as many hours, so you could exercise more, read books more, gain better knowledge, and make more sound decisions that more maybe make you more profitable, as well as you can eat better foods, and you can have more free time, and you won't have to worry about doing a 40-hour work week, or sometimes you may want to do more hours for the longer term. So it gives you more options. So it does have a lot of benefits, but money isn't everything, but having a healthy mindset and having a good family, working on relationships with friends and family, and relationships are very, very important, as well as your physical and psychological health. These are very other important aspects as well. It's not just one area. So previous research suggested that the point at which money no longer led to more happiness was around £75,000, or about £55,400 a year. And that's probably true, because after a certain amount of money, let's just say, there's not much you can spend when things start to get ridiculous. Like, say, if you want to have a really nice car, it can only cost so much, and then it starts to get ridiculous. But at the end of the day, it still gets you to point A to point B. A Lambo and a Golf, at the end of the day, you still have to obey by the law on the road and still go by the speed limits, and they still get you to A to B at the end of the day. And as it says, I scroll down, and life satisfaction goes up more and more than well-being, and that's probably because the returns of, like, I know I'm secure now and I'm set. Now it's all about life satisfactions and doing more. Well-being becomes less important, because living only costs a certain amount of money. So life satisfaction being more valued does make sense to me, and that's how I see it. I'll be interested in hearing your thoughts on my perspective and your perspective as well. So, however, the new study suggests that feelings of well-being continue to rise with increasing income, and there is no effect to this limit. But it does still go up. Life satisfaction and life well-being still does continue to go up at an extraordinary rate as you earn more money. And I also probably then thinking maybe there's a part to it is like when they want to remain humble. People don't want to admit too much, maybe. Like they're really extra happy now that they're earning more money, because they don't want to become seen to be arrogant. They want to remain humble. It's very important to remain humble, and they don't want to demean people. I don't know, maybe if they're earning less money. I am on the lower income. I am not even on a middle class income myself. I am probably around the £15,000 mark at the moment after tax. So I'm not a high earner myself. So once I release this video, the information is out there that I am not a high earner myself. So I can see perspectives from both sides. I think I can. I might be wrong, but I may be right. I'll be interested in hearing your thoughts. So anyway, let's continue reading on. So to access this link, Dr. Killingsworth analysed 1,725,944 real-time reports of experienced well-being from 33,391 employed US adults. At random times throughout their waking hours, participants were prompted by their smartphones to answer the question, "How do you feel right now?" And this is the result it returned. So after around £75,000, that's where life satisfaction and well-being equaled. And then as you went on, life satisfaction went up higher than well-being, because it only costs, as I said, so much to eat good foods and have like a gym membership, and you'd have more time to exercise. That only costs so much. And obviously as you do more, say if you're earning twice as much, it might be, as that means you're doing twice as well, so your life satisfaction might go twice as higher. So it's saying here, the results revealed that well-being rose linearly with household income with no limit to this effect. So this is also really, really good. So this means as I earn more, this will have a positive, hopefully, a positive flow and a positive trend. Also, some people do have tons of money and they're not really happy. They can be suffering from clinical depression, so it doesn't absolve it completely. It doesn't stop people from getting mental health illnesses. It doesn't stop people from getting physically sick or life happening to them. It just gives people more life choices, and it gives them more stability and security to give them and to do things more they want. But I also do think moderation is very, very important. That it's important to treat yourself from time to time and not to do everything regularly, otherwise it becomes mundane and not important. So at the moment we can't go out, but beforehand I used to treat myself to a nice go out with my family to the garden centre to have like a nice meal, and we do that maybe once every couple of months. Not very often, so it just becomes a nice treat. Otherwise it loses its speciality and it becomes more like a I can't be asked to cook kind of thing. Not that it's a nice treat, but that's true for me. It may not be true for you. Maybe you find great satisfaction, you may not, in not having to cook and it's all done for you. But so for us, it's just nice to go out. So anyway, the results revealed that well-being rose linearly with the household income with no limit to this effect. In the study published by PNSA, Dr. Killingsworth explained, past research has found that experienced well-being does not increase above incomes of $75,000. The finding has been focused on substantial attention from researchers and that the general public, yet it is based on the data asset with a measure of experienced well-being that may not be indicative of actual emotional experience. Here, over 1 million real-time reports of experienced well-being from a large US sample shows evidence that experienced well-being rises linearly with a log income with an equal steep slope above £80,000 as below it. This suggests that higher incomes may still have potential to improve day-to-day well-being rather than having already researched plateau for many people in wealthy countries. After a certain point, I think well-being becomes less important. Say if you have really good well-being, I think life satisfaction then starts to become more important than well-being. Once you've had a really good well-being lifestyle, I think your life satisfaction is very, very important. I think it is. I think it is possible to have life satisfaction on low incomes or very low incomes or no incomes, and you can still be satisfied. But it's very hard and very complicated. It's not just in black and white. It's quite involved, and I'm not I want to learn more and become more knowledgeable on this, but it's a very interesting read. So here it says, they suggest that high incomes may still have potential to improve people's day-to-day well-being, which is good. I want everyone to have a good well-being, rather than already reach a plateau for many people in wealthy countries. While the reason for the link remains unclear, the research suggests that having a high income gives people a higher sense of control over their lives, and that's why I did say that, which may in turn make them happier. Well, I think that would. If you have more control over your life, that means you have a say on which direction it goes and not someone else having a say over your direction. As long as you're not harming people and it has a positive trend for society and it's not harming you as well, and people have choice over what they do, then that I can see why that makes people happier. Dr. Killingsworth added, while there may be some point beyond which money loses its power to improve well-being, the current results suggest that point may lie higher than previously thought. Yes, it may be lay higher. It may be. The study comes shortly after researchers from Purdue University found that an annual income of between £43,000, and I would love to get to the £43,000 mark. That is one of my goals, is to have a pension. I would love to have a pension when I retire, to have a middle-class lifestyle, or a higher middle-class lifestyle, around a £50,000 mark lifestyle at this current year. So before the inflation hits, obviously. So inflation adjusted, it'll be a higher number then. But anyway, so it says that £54,000 is the ideal amount of emotional well-being. Well, if I could earn more, and I don't have to, if I have the choice of earning more, but I'm not taking things off that bring me great satisfaction or my well-being, I wouldn't turn down the opportunity to earn more, as I really love the process and achieving things and having positive trends, and the wealth increasing is a reflection of things going in a positive trend. But it's not just all about the money. I think interaction with people is very, very important. Helping people, passing on knowledge is very important, and having deep and meaningful conversations are really good. I really enjoy a deep and meaningful conversation with someone as well. And also helping people who are struggling. If they're struggling, I like to help people, and I find that very rewarding as well. That is very, very rewarding. And sometimes, say for people who work in the mental health sector, I don't know what, if you manage to help someone get their life back in order, and then they become happier, and you give them they get their life back on track and more meaningful, what price can you put on that? That is absolutely priceless. There is no money that can put a price on. You manage to help that person, and that should bring great satisfaction that you've helped another human being resolve or help improve their mental state of health or mind, or even the physical ailment as well. So the team based their findings on data from Gallup World Poll, which represents more than 1.7 million people from 164 countries. They found that anywhere between £43,000 and £54,000 was the ideal income for emotional well-being. Well, I suppose after a certain amount, stress level goes up because there's a lot more responsibilities, and maybe that has something to do with that, because there's a lot more responsibilities as salary goes up. Well, the figure of £68,000 was the point at which people felt they were achieving success in their lives. Being generous really does make people happier, according to research from an international team of experts. Because one of my goals is, after I achieve, obviously, I want to get to a middle class lifestyle, and obviously also along the way I do actually want to have some goals for generosity. And I really love the Folding at Home project, where it's you use your computer power to it's something called work units, and your computer solves or computes a program, uses the program to compute a problem of proteins folding, and it's distributed so everyone else does a work unit each, and then they stitch it all together to solve a problem. And normally this could be for cancers, Hodgkin's, Alzheimer's, and at the moment obviously the malware virus. And I would love to eventually get computers online to solve this. I would like to ideally have like a computer where it has like 3 really powerful GPUs, all water cooled, and a water cooled CPU, and it's just solely left to run, just crunching. I don't touch it for anything else. Obviously I spend all the money on like the computer parts that makes the crunching, and I scrimp on the areas that it doesn't, and it's just solely for folding, and then I just leave it folding 24/7. And then I would love to get like a second one online, and a third one online, and a fourth one online, and just snowball it over. That is one of my long-term passions. I would love to do that, but obviously at the moment I don't actually earn enough money to do that, but in the future I will do that. And hopefully Folding at Home, once we get past this virus, the users will continue to stick around for the other great works that they're achieving. And I'd highly recommend checking them out, just to make you aware, if you do decide to do Folding at Home, please make sure you have adequate cooling, because it can be quite power intensive, and it could really heat up your CPU and GPU and possibly even damage it. So that's something to be aware of. So it says here, a group of 50 volunteers in Switzerland took part in a spending experiment with each given 25 Swiss francs, around 20 to 25 pounds, £20 or $25 per week for 4 weeks. As part of the experiment, participants performed an independent decision-making tasks in which they could behave more or less generously, while brain activity was measured using functional magnetic basically fMRIs. I'm losing the ability to speak here. So they were asked to choose to give between 3 and 25 francs for their chosen money as a present or to a represent person, a person to give their money to, different from the previously chosen. Researchers found that the participants who had committed to spending their endowment on others behaved more generously in their decision-making tasks. They also discovered that greater self-reported increase in happiness as compared to control group, and that's another reason why I want to I've chosen Fold On at Home. It's more not seen, and it's a longer term play, because imagine if this Fold On at Home managed to stop. That would be amazing if they could solve the Alzheimer's problem, or maybe they managed to reduce it, or maybe delay the process, or even give people a few more years, which would be amazing. So, and it'd also be amazing if they solved the cancer and other Alzheimer's, Huntington's, and cancers, and hopefully they might move into other ones in the future. They possibly will be. Yeah, so let's just read the comments. And as I said, some of them are quite very negative sometimes and quite resentful to like the people owning large sums of money, and it's understandable, especially at this moment in time when people who are lower incomes, such as myself, may not have work and they have bills to pay, and I think other people doing really, really well. It's understandable, but I don't think we should be resentful of the people who are doing well. But as long as they're making the money ethically, legally, then there shouldn't be a problem. So if you've enjoyed this content and you want to see more, please feel free to subscribe. Clicking the bell notification button lets you notified when I next release a video, or even when I go live when I play a video game. And if you want to see more of my content, I don't just do news, I also play video games where you talk about money, sometimes playing a video game, or it may be just a chilled video where we just play a video game. I also document my journey of my investing for my SIP, which is my self-invested personal pension, and my ISA, which is my tax sheltered brokerage for my stocks and shares. So if that all sounds really cool to you, I really appreciate if you smash that like button, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon.